So Romans chapter 10, verse 9 says, "If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved." And some people might think, okay, but what about being a good person too? What about righteousness? Well, then it goes on to say, one believes with the heart, resulting in righteousness, and one confesses with the mouth, resulting in salvation. So by completing those first steps, righteousness does enter your heart. And it made me think a little bit of Romans chapter 13, verse 8, which says, "Do not owe anyone anything except to love one another." Because someone might think, okay, but what about the commandments? I mean, love can't be all there is, right? Because what about not lying to somebody? What about not murdering somebody, Well, then there's more context, like the other verse that says, "For the one who loves one another has fulfilled the law. The commandments, do not commit adultery, do not murder, and do not steal, do not covet, and any other commandment are summed up by this commandment: love your neighbor as yourself." If you loved somebody as yourself, you wouldn't want somebody to steal from you. You wouldn't want somebody to lie to you. You wouldn't want somebody to covet your things. And by loving others, loving your neighbor as yourself, you are not committing these things against them, or you are deeply repentant if you do. You deeply regret it because you love that person. And by fulfilling this, by loving one another, you are obeying all the other commandments, just like how by believing in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead and that Jesus is Lord and confessing that with your tongue, other things will fall into place, like righteousness in your heart by believing that. And how important love is as a commandment got me thinking about that famous verse, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. "Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it is not boastful, it is not arrogant, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not irritable, and it does not keep a record of wrongs." I feel like our generation, this time, really needs to think about this. I mean, how often do we see others keeping a record of others' wrongs? How selfish we are, how self-absorbed we are. And yeah, this can go for any generation, but it just really has me thinking about, we have a lack of love. We really do. And when Jesus said to love your neighbor, he meant everybody. He meant even the person you're not personally fond of.